but also in writing prior to the meeting, and such questions must be submitted to the company on or before March 21, 2021. Nomination to the Audit Committee. Pursuant to Section 404, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, any member may nominate a shareholder as a member of the Audit Committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination. Such notice shall reach the Company Secretary at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. Section 404, subsection 5 of CAMA 2020 has mandated all members to be financially literate, and at least one member shall be a member of a professional accounting body in Nigeria, established by an act of the National Assembly. We therefore request that nominations be accompanied by a copy of the nominee's curriculum vitae. Dividend. If the dividend recommended by the directors is approved by the members at the annual general meeting, dividend will be paid by March 24 to shareholders whose names appear in the company's register of members at the close of business on March 5, 2021. Closure of register. The register of members of the company will be closed from March 8, 2021 to March 15, 2021, both days inclusive, for the purpose of dividend payment and updating the register. Dividend registration. Notice is hereby given to all shareholders to open bank accounts, stockbroking accounts, and CSCS accounts for the purpose of receiving dividend payments electronically. A detachable application form for the e-dividend is attached to the annual report to enable shareholders furnish particulars of the accounts to the registrar as soon as possible. Unclaimed dividend warrants and share certificates. Shareholders are hereby informed that the number of share certificates and dividend warrants were returned to registrars as unclaimed are still in the custody of the registrars. Any shareholder affected by this notice is advised to contact the company's registrar, Africa Prudential Plc, 220B Ikorodu Road, Pangrove, Lagos, or via email at cfc@africaprudential.com to lay claim. Profiles of directors for re-election. The profiles of Mr. Sonny Iroche and Sir Stephen Wandeko, who will be retiring by rotation and will be presenting themselves for re-election, are among the profiles of directors that are provided in the 2021 annual report and on the company's website at www.unitedcapitalplcgroup.com. Annual report published on the website. In order to improve delivery of our annual report, we've inserted a detachable form in the annual report and hereby request shareholders to complete the form by providing their contact and any other requested details, and thereafter return the same to the registrars for further processing. Additionally, an electronic version of the 2021 annual report is available on the company's website at www.unitedcapitalplcgroup.com. Online streaming of AGM. The AGM will be streamed live online. This will enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow the proceedings. The link for the AGM online live streaming will be made available at the company's website at www.unitedcapitalplcgroup.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Company Secretary. It is now time for me to read the Chairman's statement. Distinguished shareholders, the Chairman's statement is in the annual report, copies of which have been circulated to shareholders. Taken as read. Thank you for waiving that. Yes, sir. Can you take this microphone and put at the center? Can somebody move it to the center? No, don't worry. We're not touching any microphone. Just put it at the center. Yeah, that way. That's okay. Thank you, sir. All right. Sorry, it's the protocol that we're trying to observe that we restrict, the usage and so on. So I'll now call a representative of the auditors to read the auditor's report.
Hello? Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, distinguished shareholders, representatives of the board, and other stakeholders. The audit opinion is on pages 76 to 80 of the annual report. That's 5 pages. With the permission of the shareholders, I would like to summarize this into at least 2 to 3 pages. Do I have your approval, sirs? Thank you very much. The independent auditor's report to members of United Capital Plc. Report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of United Capital Plc and its subsidiaries as at 31 December 2020, and of their consolidated and separate financial performance and their consolidated and separate cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act. The consolidated and separate financial statement comprise the consolidated and separate profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 31 December 2020, the statements of financial position as at 31 December 2020, the statements of changes in equity for the year then ended, the statements of cash flow for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, which include a summary of significant accounting policies. We have conducted our audit in accordance with international standards of auditing, and our responsibilities under those standards are also included on page 78 of the annual report. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. We are independent of the group in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, and we have fulfilled our ethical responsibilities in accordance with the code. Page 77 identifies the key audit matter that is relevant for the current period, which is loss allowance on financial assets at amortized cost. We have stated why we think that is a key audit matter and how our audit has addressed that key audit matter. This matter was addressed in our audit of the financial statement and informing our opinion, and we do not provide a separate opinion on it. Page 78 lists out the responsibilities of the directors and those charged with governance for the financial statement, and also the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of this financial statement. I'll read out a report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Company and Allied Matters Act require that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of our audit. The company has kept proper books of account so far as appears from my examination of those books, and returns adequate for our audit have been received from branches not visited by us. The company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns, signed by Chidio J. for PricewaterhouseCoopers on the 22nd of February 2021. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the auditor. I will now ask the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to read the committee's report. It's on page 68 and 69.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, regulators, PricewaterhouseCoopers, members of my committee, and shareholders present. The report of the Statutory Audit Committee is on page 68. I step up and read as follows. Report of the Statutory Audit Committee for the year ended December 31st, 2020. To the members of United Capital Plc. In the course of the financial year 2020, the Statutory Audit Committee of United Capital Plc met 4 times, as illustrated in the table below. All the members were present in the meeting, no abstention. Therefore, in accordance with the provision of Section 404, subsection 7 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we, the members of Audit Committee of United Capital Plc, have performed our statutory obligations under the Act. Hereby report that the accounting and reporting policies of the company for the year ended December 31st, 2020 are consistent with legal requirements and ethical practices. The internal audit programs are extensive and provide a satisfactory evaluation of the efficiency of the internal control system. The scope and planning of the statutory independent audit for the year ended December 31st, 2020 are satisfactory, and we have considered independent auditors' post-audit report and management responses thereon, and are satisfied with the responses to our questions as well as the state of affairs at United Capital Plc. Here are the members of the Audit Committee. Mr. Paul Olele, this is Chairman speaking. On my right is Mr. Alex Adio. On my left is Mrs. Faith George Osman. On the high table is the Acting Chairman, Mr. Emmanuel Noron. Mr. Adim Chibuno and Mr. Stephen are joining online. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We also have the report of the board evaluation on page 66 of the report, and also the corporate governance review on page 67 from Deloitte. So please, shareholders should note that. I hereby lay before you the report and accounts for the year ended 31st of December 2020. You now have an opportunity to ask questions regarding the report and accounts. In doing so, it will help to ensure that we give the right answer if you could refer to the page of the report and accounts to which your question relates. So we start, Sir Sonny Wosu.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman of the board, who is ably represented by a super director of the group in person of Emmanuel Noron, distinguished directors, very distinguished shareholders, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Sir Sonny Wosu. I'm the National Coordinator Emeritus, Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, the first thing I want to do on this annual report is to appreciate the wholesome disclosure which is embedded inside this annual report. And I'm not surprised about the management and board headed by Peter Ashade. I'd like to thank the board for allowing the disclosure that is actually exposed in this annual report. There's hardly any question that one will ask about disclosure that you will not find here. So that's my first observation. The financial highlight is very clear there.
On page 2, total revenue increased by 50%, profit before tax increased by 61%, profit after tax 57%, and total asset 48%. That is very good, very, very good. When you take this along with page, just a minute, Mr. Chairman. If you take it along with a page 129 of the annual report, under share capital. The share capital of this company is 3 billion naira and is exhausted. Currently, it's exhausted. And you go down to share premium or retained earning of this company, we are having 22 billion naira. Very healthy, Mr. Chairman. We are proposing to raise 100 billion naira through the venture or whatever we intend to raise it from. Mr. Chairman, I strongly believe that the shareholders of this company need to be compensated apart from dividend of 70 kobo, that there should be a bonus to go with it. We have a robust earning, retained earning, and everything that is there. And that is the more reason why, even if the 100 billion is convertible, we will not suffer anything as the owners of the company. That's very important, that we should always think of compensating your loyal shareholders. Mr. Chairman, coming back on the company in itself, this is a conglomerate on its own. It's a conglomerate. And if you look down on page 130, account for receivables. I'm always worried about receivables. And I think there is need for us to have the life of these receivables so that by the time we are looking at it, we will know that they are not static receivables, that there is movement in the receivables to convince us that truly, these receivables are active. So there is need for us to ensure that we do such a thing. Mr. Chairman, I would like to take us very quickly to a statement of the management in this annual report. And that statement starts from page 39. Page 39. It is called Organizational Milestones and Landmark Achievement. I have no doubt in my mind that since we're able to achieve this, and when you get back to the next page, which is talking about outlook for 2021, I think we must be able to look ahead to surpass what we achieved in 2020 and ensure that your shareholders will go home happy shareholders of United Capital. I totally agree with all the statements of the management here, and the management will be wholly responsible for all the statements they have made on these 2 pages. Mr. Chairman, financial literacy on page 44. Financial literacy on page 44. I want to say that I actually benefited from this campaign, because each time I pick up my email, you will see something coming from United Capital, educating us on investment, and I am sure we are going to achieve what the management have actually said here, to grow to 36.8 million subscribers to this in 2023. So I agree those are statements of hope, and that is why they have to work very hard to ensure that they are meeting some of these promises that they have made. But going back to going back to this page, Mr. Chairman, segmental reporting. Even if you want to report Nigeria operation as one entity, the foreign operation must also appear on its own, because that will enable shareholders to really assess whether we are making money from Ghana. So I can't see anything showing me that Ghana operation has brought in this or has brought in that. Rather, all I have here on page 81 is which is called Consolidated Statement of Profit and Loss and Other Comprehensive Income for the year ended 31st December 2020. And I want us to go through it very clearly, Mr. Chairman. We as shareholders, we have always advocated that subsidiaries should be set up because the subsidiary contribution with time will surpass the company in itself. If you look at what is stated here very clearly, look at the company in 2020 produced an operating income of 4 billion naira, while the group produced operating income of 12 billion naira. It shows clearly that the entity of the group is actually working hard, contributing to the profitability of the company. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Even apart from that, they even paid dividend to the group. Mr. Chairman, just go to page 81. You will see it there.
Absolutely.
Yes, they paid dividend. And at the end of the day, total revenue amounted to 13 billion naira as against 8 billion naira. So you can see the beauty. And I want us to ensure that, in fact, what I actually want is that we should give a round of applause to all those managing all the subsidiaries for what they have contributed, because at the end of the day, it's the coordinating company that owns all these things. So I thank all those that have worked to ensure that we're able to go home with a dividend. Mr. Chairman, now knowing fully well that our company is also a finance company, and I'm quite sure you have heard what the government is doing about unclaimed balances and unclaimed dividend. I was reading through Independent Shareholders Association is actually preparing to go to court to challenge this because we have made a presentation to the Senate before they did that. And unfortunately, I haven't told the senators that it's going to be unpopular approval if they approve this, that the shareholders in this country will never be happy with them. They went ahead and approved it. I am also happy that we contacted SERAP, and SERAP is gone to court last Friday to challenge it, seeking perpetual injunction to stop the claiming of unclaimed dividend and what do they call it? Dormant balances. Because again, when you look at it, we have altogether about 25 trillion naira as unclaimed balances. And they are alleging that unclaimed dividend is 154 billion naira, which I doubt. The MD of our company was a registrar, and he knows that every day that passes, the volume reduces. If you look at today's Guardian, front page, page 6, and the last page is the conclusion of the story on this. We told the senators that what fueled this amount of money is what we call technical partners, or what do they call them, whose dividend they could not transfer. At the time of bringing in investment in this country, the foreign partners will seek a certificate of importation of foreign exchange, which entitles them to transfer, repatriate the benefit of their investment. For years, they have not been able to transfer the proceeds from their investment, and this fueled the position of unclaimed dividend. We have made appeal to central bank. please give them forest cover to part with some of these monies here. Then the danger of it is that they have decided to help themselves. What are they doing? They are now reducing the float in the market from Nigerian shareholders. They are now using the dividend that they could not transfer to buy their shares in this country. And as I said in that paper, we are all hungry. If you give me 10 naira above the selling price, I will throw it there. And at the end of the day, who suffers? It's Nigerians that suffers. And this is a dangerous trend. You will see very soon, next month or in June, some companies will come out with scrip bonus. What is scrip bonus? It's to use whatever bonus they're entitled to increase their holding. Of course, the shareholders, like the Egbas will say, that the teeth of a poor man is a cutlass which is used to cut the bush. That is, most of you people are perceiving us to be poor people. We do not have any answer to issues. But at the end of the day, it will actually rub on our top management staff because, of course, when I take over the company, I decide who will be the MD, who will be the executive director, and all this and that. So, the danger is enormous on the economy. Those of you who attend Bankers Committee, those of you who are members of the financial institutions in this country should carry this campaign so that Nigerian shareholders will have confidence that they are investing in a company. It is also very important for us to understand one thing. The Finance Bill 2020 is discriminatory. And that is why it's encouraging companies to delist from the stock exchange. Because once you delist, you will not be affected by unclaimed dividend issue. Private companies are excluded from it. It is only those of us who believe that this is where I belong to. For 50 years, I do not know any other thing than capital market. And my money, even if my money is not seized, but those that have followed our footsteps to come into the capital market and be operating in the capital market will be affected. And once they are affected, we will not be happy about it. The CAMA 2019 and the CAMA 1990 and CAMA 2020 says that after 12 years, the money should revert to the company that pays it so that they will use it to generate more profit and other things. Nigeria is a place where the goalposts can be changed anytime. The Finance Bill of 2020 is saying after 6 years. But even then, I'm quite sure SEC is here. SEC is here. There is a letter from SEC that is asking companies that untraceable funds should be returned back in 2 years. So we don't know which one to follow. Again, at the end of the day, most companies will be very, very conservative in paying dividend, knowing fully well that most of their shareholders may not get the dividend and it will go to government. Government do not respect people's money. They will spend it. And by the time you go to Abuja twice, you would have spent off the dividend you are expecting. Please, all of you who are in position should join hands by speaking out. Even if you cannot release 1 kobo to those who are fighting for you, but speak out so that those mighty ones over there will hear what is going on. It is very, very important. Mr. Chairman, I have to bring this because this is my own platform. And I feel that the management of this company should buy today's copy of Guardian so that you will see it. And I will forward to you the matters concerning the case that have been filed on Friday. Everybody should pray so that we will get injunction against government. The issue of investment is you and I. It doesn't involve government. It's my money. And it's the trust I have in you that made me to part with my money. Waiting concern government in that busybody. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for the opportunity in speaking here. I also noticed on page 137 that despite our love for Peter, yourself, and others, there's no indication that you have shareholders in this company. Look at the picture, look at the pictorial. You did not even bother to honor shareholders by giving us one by one space there to show that you have shareholders. Mr. Chairman, I believe you will correct all this so that we'll continue to be as friendly as we have always been. I want you to extend our appreciation to Matthias, the chairman of the company, that we are thinking we will see his face with white beard. He started with black beard. Now he's growing white. We should also be able to see that the way it fits him. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity, but I pray that that dividend should be paid today. Amen. I pray you have the power, and the MD knows the importance of dividend to shareholders. And please ask the registrars, they are capable, to make the payment to us before the close of business today. And I believe you are a listening board, and you will oblige us this demand that we have asked from you. On behalf of shareholders, I want to thank you again for the opportunity given to me. God bless our company, and God bless everybody. God bless.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Yes, the lady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Barrister Adetutu Shiyobola. I'm standing on existing protocol. Is it okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Barrister Adetutu Shiyobola. I'm standing on existing protocol, as I've said. My observation, I want to start my observation from pages 52 to 57 on attendance at board meetings and board committees meetings. What I observe at those meetings is excellent. I noticed that we have 100% attendance, so I want the board to keep it up. On page 60, item 5, changes on the board. I noticed that we appointed 2 people. Two independent non-directors to strengthen the board. And I'm seizing this opportunity to welcome Mr. Fato Kun and Ajia Aisha Bello to the board, and I wish them fruitful tenure in office. On page 61, directors' interest in shares. I noticed that only 4 directors are shareholders. And even our chairman ceased to be a shareholder. This is not impressive at all. On page 111, okay, let me skip that for others to discuss. On page 119, other operating expenses. I have an observation on the column for donations there. And I want to marry it to the page 63, where it was recorded that in the year under review, no donations was incurred. was made. But to my surprise, on that page 119, a sum of 910,000 naira was recorded as a donation. I don't know where that amount emanated from, so I need some clarification on that. Then, on that same page 119, other premises and equipment costs. I noticed that the amount spent on this item increased from 72.5 million naira to 136.5 million naira. This is almost double. I need some explanation on that. Then on professional fees, too, I noticed that this one increased from 431.3 million naira to 695.3 million naira, which is outrageous to me. Then, going down again on that subscription, I noticed that this one also increased from 9.8 million naira to 51 million naira in the year under review. Likewise, share register fee increased from 19.5 million naira to 61.6 million naira. Going further down too, I noticed that directors' fees and other allowances increased from 28.8 million naira to 43.8 million naira in the year under review. Going further down, I noticed that other running expenses increased from 46 million naira to almost 159 million naira, over 300% increase. I want to know why. Then further down, I noticed business development increased astronomically high from 4.4 million naira to 141.7 million naira in the year under review. Lastly, IT license and maintenance fee too increased from 13 million naira to 66.7 million naira in the year under review. I just need some clarification and explanation on these figures. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, so, Colonel, I'm coming, sir, don't worry. We'll take all questions.
My chairman for today, ENN, my name is Sir Olatunde Okelana, Balogun Olugban of Orilegban in Oyo State, Justice of Peace of Oyo State. I lead the Shareholders Mobilization Committee. We mobilize shareholders to give you support. My respected chairman, I want to start from where Sir Sanyon-Wosu has made some explanations. And I want you to know that Nigerian shareholders, as of today, are suffering. SEC, and I want SEC to take note and see what they can do internally to resolve most of this problem. As at yesterday, a member of the association asked some unclaimed dividends. And the unclaimed dividend we are talking about is not APR. APR, they are cooperating. That one, we are very happy about that. The APR, they are cooperating with shareholders. The registrar requested for bankers' confirmation. They requested for specimen signature. In all those days, if I don't have shares in APR or UBA Capital and I want to buy, I will just buy the share and submit my transfer form, which will be processed immediately. Today, you pay 1,000. It's not the 1,000 that matters. It may take 6 months for it to get to the registrar. When you buy share of UBA Capital today, if it's not African Presidential, let's say it's another registrar in this country, it takes you 1 year to get your dividends. You know why? There's a delay taxes whereby they don't allow you to collect your dividends because they will tell you your specimen signature is not with them. All along, SEC allow and approve that bankers' confirmation can be taken to the registrar, and they will process it, and you get to your dividends. On this, Nigerian shareholders are suffering. We must find a way as stakeholders in this business. Those are the only way we can reduce unclaimed dividends in this country. The registrars, some of them are giving us challenges. Another thing we want us to discuss today is the materialization of anything you want to do. For example, in Nigeria today, in the capital market, it's becoming too expensive for any new entrants to come in. For example, those days when I opened my CSS account, it was free. Today, I will pay 2,000. That is it. That is another challenge. If I want to change the name, I will pay money. If I want to do this, I will pay money. Another challenge we are facing in this country, some stockbroking firm that have gone with some legacy bank, they are no longer operating. We find it difficult to even transfer our share to another firm. This is a challenge the Nigerian shareholders are facing. I am telling you all this so that you will know why a lot of people are skeptical. The way the capital market is going in Nigeria, there will be some challenges very soon. The capital market is being killed by some assorted policies in this country. The delay tactics they are using in the capital market for you not to get your dividends, so that those people who did not, they want to sow where they did not reap, where they want to collect our unclaimed dividends, is because they use a lot of bottleneck bureaucracies that in another 6 months you'll be battling to collect your dividend. It's not the fault of the registrar. Are you getting my point? But some registrars want to be too strict, and they want to be too, the way they do things in an old way, they want to continue that way. We want to find a way that Nigerian shareholders, the poor people, will be assisted. This is a period that Nigerians need their money. You can imagine the opportunity many shareholders will have now if they have their outstanding in the book of the dividends. But because of the bottleneck bureaucracies and all sorts of policies, they couldn't get their dividend. I want to say something that I am very happy to be a shareholder of United Capital. One of the reasons why I'm saying this is that it's one of the most profitable subsidiary under this, in the group. And I want you to give them a very good round of applause. Having said that, the management, especially Peter Asade that came from APR, he knows the way to reach the shareholders. Even if you cannot reach Peter, Sir Leo Okafor is very, very accessible. It's accessible in the sense that I want other company secretary under this group, put it in quote, under this group to emulate Leo Okafor. Very, very accessible. He knows how to way to reach you. And maybe because he's a knight, he knows the way to talk to shareholder. You need to train some other company secretary within the group. I don't need to mention their name. Having said that, I want to mention something very particular about African Prudential. Peter, you left African Prudential. Those people you train, they really undergo that training very well, and they are putting some smile on our faces. Why I'm saying this is that most of the challenges we have in the past, if I have shares in a UBA and I'm bought another group, and I want to change my e-mandate, what the law says that since I have an existing mandate with you, I can send you a mail and you now do all the needful. But today, those ones that are not learning, they didn't learn from you. They don't know how to, they forget about human relations. They are not doing this. So based on that, I want all of you to clap for Mrs. Catherine Nwosu. She always assisted us when we need problem. No, we lead an association. It's not all the people in our villages that can follow us to Lagos to come and solve the problem. But when we approach her electronically, and it's within our power, under the confinement of the law, she assists us. We are very grateful about that. And I want to thank the board and management of UBA Capital. I know it's outside the country, and the protocol must be followed. Thank you. God bless you. By the grace of God, by this time next year, things will be better more than this. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All protocol duly observed. My name is Pastor Olagoke Samson Olusegun. My own speech is just another dimension. First and foremost, I just want to commend the chairman, the board of management, and especially our group executive director in the presence of Mr. Shadi. We have known him for so many years. He's performing very well. Give us a wonderful and excellent result that we are considered today. Please, sir, keep it up. Is the man that even is untiring effort, dedication to duty, even though by this pandemic challenges we have in this country. I pray that Almighty God will wipe away COVID-19 pandemic from this country and other country. In Jesus' mighty name. Secondly, I commend the company secretariat in presence of Mr. Leo Okafo. The man is so flexible, accommodative, intelligent, loyal to the company, and then friendly to the shareholder. Thirdly, we welcome the two oncoming director. This is the time we need you. It's a good idea that you will contribute your knowledge, your wisdom, and better still, be a partaker to be our director. As you are coming, I pray that you shall drive our company to the profitable directive in order to be able to give excellent return to the shareholder in the coming year. Lastly, the additional capital that our company wants to raise is a good idea. By bonds and the commercial paper is a welcome idea. We will give the board and management our moral support, and then the resolution will be passed. Thank you for the opportunity given to me.
Okay, the man behind South Carolina.
Sir Shola Bodrin. I'm from Ibadan. There's an adage. The adage is, I will first say it in Yoruba, later I will translate it to English. Wọ́n ní tọ́mọ ẹni bá dára ká wí, a ní fi ṣaya. If you have a daughter and that daughter is fine, you will say it. You are not going to take that daughter as a wife. I don't know. That's not proper. If anybody does that, is committing an incest, which should not be done. So what I want to say is this. First, I thank God Almighty that we are here today. Last year, we were not able to attend your meeting. Why? Because of COVID-19. Look at what COVID-19 has done to the whole world. Since last year and now, almost 2 million people have died, 500,000 people in America, over 2 million people, 2,000 in Nigeria. All over the world, the whole world, have suffered a lot because of COVID-19. Economies have gone down terribly, almost all over the world. Everything is almost in topsy-turvy. Even in Nigeria, we're in a second recession in 5 years. In spite of this is where I'm coming. Look at what you have done in this company. You have improved yourself very substantially. Turnover has gone almost 50%. In fact, when I look at the return on average investment, you say it's 35%. Where do you get that? In Nigeria as of today, it's from you. So I doff my heart for you. And I thank you very, very, very much. So I'm urging everybody, invest in this company. Because what you are showing to us is that you are a very serious person. You are a very serious board. You don't want to suffer us. You want us to reap the benefit of our investment. So I thank you. I thank you indeed. So I've been watching everybody, but nobody has really said exactly what you have done. That's why I've come up. I thank you. So this dividend you are giving us, I know you can do better. So next year, I'm expecting 1 naira. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll take one more, please, because I believe we're all itching to. The man at the back, sorry, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Protocol duly observed. The name is Prince Dr. Anthony Omojola, the National Coordinator of Independent Shareholder Association of Nigeria. I appreciate the greatness of God in our lives, in being here, in being nominated, and being present here today. Notwithstanding the difficulties, I thank God I was able to get at least up to 109 of my members to sign proxy for us to support the meeting, and 2 of us are physically here. I appreciate the dynamic board, the management and staff that has produced this fantastic result in a pandemic year. It's not too much if we continue to clap for them, but because we have other businesses, let's move ahead. Let me document my appreciation of your performance by referring you to a resounding 76% profit retained on the business after application from the value-added statement page on page 132. This is extraordinarily good. More kudos to your performance. Much has been said about the attendance of the board and the committees, which is 100%, and I say excellent. Keep it up. On page 60, 2 new non-executive directors are for ratification. They are multi-qualified, multi-talented, and of course, tested technocrats. They have my support and our support. On page 62, a look at that, our capital and performance suggest that we need to boost our share capital. However, the intended resolution 9 has overshadowed my wish for a minimum of 1 for 2 bonus shares. I don't know how we can do this. That is my suggestion. I want a bonus or at least 1 for 2. But what do we need 100 billion share capital for? Is this not too ambitious? Can't you make it? Can't you take in phases? I don't want our capital to be bloated, and I don't want us to overrate our performance. If it's the core share capital, then we're going to have problem of servicing the share capital. Let us watch it and make sure that it's in compliance with our amendment. Someone has mentioned the issue of donation. We said that it doesn't exist on page 63, but on page 119, we spend 110,000. Please let us streamline that. I endorse Deloitte and Touche in giving you the board excellent performance because you have done very well, and we want you to keep it up. On page 108 and 118, under the financial risk management assessment, 30 billion out of 39 billion assets were not rated. They are not within the rated segment of the asset. Furthermore, notwithstanding our it's been recorded, right? Okay, notwithstanding our
recorded, my brother. Hold on. It's a swim line, you know. This place is like that, we are used to that. What is the money?
Money.
We used to spend 10 minutes. Sat down till they came back. Tiwa.
Market fund. Your capital is safe. It has a high return than the inflation rate. You get higher interest rates than a regular savings account. It has a compounding effect on its interest, and it allows you to start small and grow. What's more, you can invest for your children, and it's a good option for you if you are saving for a project. With your fund, you also get principal protection. To sign up for the Money Market Fund today, simply download and log on to your Invest Now app. Complete your KYC and open a Money Market Fund account.
Okay, we are on. I was referring us to pages 108 and 118. Furthermore, notwithstanding our evaluations and the selection processes, investment in unquoted and mutual funds here are very high. I wish our investment team good luck in their assessment and selection processes, as they should choose the best options for our businesses. If you check the mutual fund on that page, you will see that we have 12.6 billion under level 2, and unquoted stock at 1.3 billion. Furthermore, on page 118, combined with 128, I appreciate the huge incomes we receive from the receiver returns on this investment, at which our managers who have, can be more to be more dynamic in their choice of a borrow fund. They should always check the going rates on monetary funds as against the fixed returns we have on the bonds. On page 139, on our notice of the meeting and the resolution, to the CS, the front here are too tiny. Please, next time, let us make it bolder, and don't let us strain our eyes more than necessary. An extra page will not be too much for us. Thank you very much. I wish all of us a good meeting.
Okay, thank you, shareholders. We've taken a lot of questions, but let me just make one or two comments. Then I will call the MD also to make some comments. More like clarifications. We've noted all you said and work towards improvement. Starting from the question that Sir Sonny Nwosu raised. Thank you, sir. The disclosures you have in the financial statements, meet all the requirements of both SEC, FROC, and all the audit requirements. We'll continue to improve on those disclosures. Now, I will not want to end up this without talking of the CEOs that also produce this report. So if you look at page 12 and page 13 of this financial statement, you have the CEOs of our subsidiaries, because Sonny was mentioned that the results coming from the subsidiaries are very substantial. So on this hall, you have Mrs. Tokumba Ajayi, the CEO of United Capital Trustees. Can you please rise? We also have Bawo, Oris Jaffo. Where are you? That's MD of United Capital Securities. You have also the MD CEO of United Capital Asset Management, Odiri Ogini. And of course, at the extreme end, you have Sonny Anene and Peter Shede. They are the ones producing all these results. So our colleagues, the shareholders have thanked you, but more is expected. I hope I'm saying that for the shareholders. All right. Also, Sonny was mentioned about the receivables, the need for the aging, so that they are all recoverable. I can assure you, sir, they are. Auditors went through all the details, and so they are all receivable, they are recoverable, there's nothing, no provision required. Where we needed to have the expected credit loss provisions, they are all taken care of in line with the accounting standards. Also, there was a plea that let the dividend be paid today, March 23rd. If you go to our notice of meeting on page 138, we have already told shareholders that dividends will be paid on March 24th. Yes, so tomorrow you get your dividends. Peter, is that correct? All right. Okay. Then there were questions from Barrister Shina Bola, and it's quite a lot she listed, but let me just take one as a group comment. A lot of expenses that increased from one level to another level, professional fees, share register fees, subscriptions, and so on and so forth, IT license. I want to say that generally you could see from the beginning of the result, page 2, that turnover, everything all went up. In line with where you have revenue going by 50% and then profit growing by 61%, of course, costs also go with that. And so you find that those costs are all additional costs that arose because of the increased level of turnover we experienced in 2020. Besides that, during the period when the COVID lockdown was on, from March till about July or so, the employees were all working from home. And of course, what it means is that there will be more IT costs. So many things were put in place to ensure that we'll continue to run the business. And even now, the company is moving gradually towards ensuring that most transactions for customers can be done online, real-time, without necessarily the customer being in the office. So most of our products too, now, investments and so on and so forth, all go in the same way. So, but thank you for the comments. We've noted it and will ensure that the costs do not increase unnecessarily. The issue mentioned about unclaimed dividends, thank you. Again, from also what Sonny Wosu said, we will all continue to, advocate for better ways or ensuring some consistency in this area. I want to say something about one of the resolutions we're going to pass today, and that has to do with the 100 billion bond issuance. It's not really capital in the sense that we are raising capital. We're not raising equity. If you go to that on page 138, the notice of the AGM, you see where it was stated that this will come in form of bonds, commercial papers, and so on and so forth. We need money as the business is growing, and so for now it is not anything to do with equity. But all of this, means of raising funds, of course, may be cheaper as the economy, as we see in the economy, we actually want to take advantage of that. So, but thank you for pointing that out. We pray for better dividends for next year. CEO. Okay, thank you. You also mentioned the loans not rated. Yes, we also have a consumer loan division, and they actually doing a lot of business. You may not have the loans rated, but they are not loans that have any issues in terms of recoverability. Most of the lending to salary earners that pay back, the next month or so, or sometimes over 3 months and so on, they are not there are no issues at all. So I want to say that those loans, even though not rated, they are also very good, and they went through the audit process. I think these are all the major issues. Other ones we have noted. So thank you, shareholders, again for raising all of this. I'll call on the CEO to comment also.
Well, distinguished shareholders, I want to use this opportunity to thank you so much for all your support all the way. Both the board, the management, and the staff of United Capital extend our warm appreciation for your support in 2020. I want to reassure you that in every of our business decisions, one key things keep coming up, and is how do we continue to increase the value to the shareholders? And that is why, if you've gone the memory lane, you'll see consistently we have been paying dividend since 2013 that we got listed. And we want to assure the shareholders in our subsequent business decision too. Shareholders are key in our thought. And want to, we know some are saying £1 next year. What if it's more than £1? So, but our position is that we will continue to delight shareholders. We know that the shareholders are always looking at either capital appreciation or income. This, we can assure you, you will achieve it having the shares of United Capital. So on that note, I want to thank you so much for all the support and that we've gained, and while we're reassuring you of a more prosperous 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. The next item on the agenda is the declaration of dividend of 4.2 billion naira gross. The directors are recommending a dividend of 70 kobo per every ordinary share of 50 kobo to all shareholders whose names are registered in the company's register of members as at March 5th, 2021. If approved, the total dividend paid to shareholders for the financial year ended 31st of December 2020 will be 4.2 billion. I hereby move that a dividend of 4.2 billion gross in respect of the year ended December 31st, 2020 be paid to all shareholders registered in the books of the company as at the close of business on March 5th, 2021, be and is hereby declared. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Those in favor of this motion, please signify by raising your admission cards. Anyone objecting? Can we ask the registrar to announce the result of this because of the ones that also came through the proxy?
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, please press your voting devices. If you are in favor of the resolution, you press 1. If you are against the resolution, you press 2. So your votes can be merged with the one of the proxies. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The result of the poll to approve the declaration of dividend is as follows. 3,255,387,686 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of directors. In accordance with Section 285, Subsection 1 of CAMA 2020, at the annual general meeting in every subsequent year, 1/3 of the directors for the time being shall retire from office and be eligible for re-election. I hereby present to you Mr. Sonny Iroche, who is participating virtually, who is retiring by rotation and having offered himself for re-election. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Okay.
Hi, Sir Olatunde Okelana, MSc, JP. I now rise to second that motion as read by the chairman.
Thank you very much. Those in favor of this, can you press 1 on your pad, on your voting pad, and those against, press 2. So that their votes will be matched with the ones that have come through proxies. All right, that's Sonny Roche's picture. All right, so Registrar, please, can you announce the result of the voting?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please project the result. For the re-election of Sir Iroche, the results of the poll is as follows: 3,255,413,668 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, shareholders. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. I hereby present to you Sir Stephen Waduko, can we project that, who is retiring by rotation and participating in this meeting virtually and has offered himself for re-election. Will someone please rise and second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Honorable Bright Tumwabuago, the National President of Aba Shareholders Association. I so do, sir.
Thank you very much. Those in favor of this motion, press 1, and those against this, press 2. Registrar, can you announce the result of the voting?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to re-elect Sir Stephen Waduko, the result of the poll is as follows: 3,255,388,816 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, voted in favor of the resolution. 2 units of shares, representing 0%, voted against. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item is the appointment of new directors. Since the last annual general meeting, 2 new directors were appointed, and in accordance with Section 274 of CAMA 2020, we hereby seek the approval of the general meeting to the appointment. The directors seeking approval of the appointments are Mr. Oladepopo Fatokun and Hajia Sutura Aisha Bello. I hereby move that the appointment of Mr. Oladepopo Fatokun be and is hereby approved as a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Pastor Olagoke Samson Oshegun.
Thank you.
So, second.
Thank you. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on the voting pad. Those against, press 2. Oladipo Fatokun is participating virtually in this meeting. Okay, project the picture for Fatokun is also on page 9 of the board profile. Okay. No, what we did, sir, to ensure we're no more than 50. Some directors. Okay. Yeah, it's actually from the. It's been projected. But can we just go ahead and take the results? So, Registrar, can you give us the result of that voting?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the approval of the appointment of Mr. Fatokun, the result of the poll is as follows: 3,259,670,341 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast voted in favor of the resolution. 30,032 units of shares, representing 0.00% of the votes cast voted against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Yeah, that's the picture. Yeah, it's participating. Yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Fatokun. I hereby move that the appointment of Hajia Sutura Aisha Bello, who is here with us, take a bow. I hereby move that the appointment of Hajia Sutura Aisha Bello be and is hereby approved as a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second this? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Kola Alaga is my name. My wife is a woman. My mother is equally a woman. So I am seconding the motion.
Thank you very much. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor, please press 1 on the voting pad, and those against, press 2. All right, thank you, Registrar. Announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the appointment of Hajia Aisha Bello, the result of the poll is as follows: 3,255,382,704 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast voted in favor of the resolution. 30,032 units of shares, representing 0.00%, voted against. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I also hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you, shareholders. The next item on the agenda is the remuneration of the auditors. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration and expenses of auditors for the year ending December 31st, 2021. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Okay, thank you.
I second the motion. Prince Dr. Anthony Omojola.
Thank you, sir. Those in favor of this, press 1 on the voting pad, and those against, press 2. Registrar, please announce the result of the voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the remuneration of the auditors, the results of the poll is as follows. 3,259,705,178 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by proxies and shareholders, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you, shareholders. The next item on the agenda is the election of members of the Audit Committee. The directors nominated to represent the board on the Statutory Audit Committee are Mr. Oladepo Fatokun and Sir Stephen Nwadiuko, both participating by virtual option. The company secretary has also confirmed that a total of 3 valid nominations were received, namely Mr. Paul Olele, please stand, Faith George Osman, and Pastor Adio Alex. I hereby move that this be returned unopposed as a representative of the shareholders for another term. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Yes, observation. You say? Only 3 were received, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Sorry, another. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so the motion is for the election of Paul Olele, Faith George Osman, and Adio Alex as Statutory Audit Committee member representing shareholders. Having moved, yes. Can you second?
Tunji Bamede is my name. I second that motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in favor, press 1 on your voting. Okay, so by voting by, yes. So those in favor, can you raise your hand, please? All right. Please, can you count? Thank you. All right. Those against, please raise your hand. All right. So I declare that the motion has been duly carried, and so the members of the Statutory Audit Committee for the next 1 year are Mr. Paul Olele, Mrs. Faith George Osman, Pastor Alex Adio, Mr. Oladepo Fatokun, and Sir Stephen Nwadiuko. Thank you, shareholders. Section 238 of CAMA 2020 requires companies to disclose the remuneration of managers. Please refer to page 52 of the annual report for details of remuneration of managers as required by law. Thank you. The next item is a resolution to fix the remuneration of directors of the company. Section 293, subsection 1 of CAMA 2020 requires the remuneration of directors to be approved in general meeting. I hereby move that a resolution approving the remuneration of the non-executive directors for 2021 in a sum of 6.5 million naira for each non-executive director, total of 45.5 million cumulative for all non-executive directors be, and is hereby approved. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Thank you, sir. Those in favor, please press 1 on your admission card, on your voting pad, sorry. And those against, press 2. Registrar, please announce the result of the voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution approving the remuneration of non-executive directors, the results of the poll is as follows. 3,259,675,146 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, voted in favor of the resolution. 30,032 units of shares, representing 0.00%, voted against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you, shareholders. The next item is Resolution 9.1, that the directors be and I have authorized to raise capital of up to 100 billion through the issuance of tenured bonds, notes, commercial papers, debt instruments, or loans in any currency by way of bond issuance, note issuance, book building, or other methods, and whether in one or more tranches, the pricing and terms of such issuance to be determined by the directors as they deem appropriate, subject to obtaining the approvals of relevant regulatory authorities. I now put the motion to the meeting. Can someone second this, please? Yes, sir.
I'm Sir Shola Bodun. I support the motion.
Thank you, sir. Those in favor of this, please press 1 on your voting pad, and those against, press 2 on your voting pad. Registrar, please announce the result of the voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The result of the poll is as follows. 3,259,675,146 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 30,032 units of shares, representing 0.00% of the votes cast, voted against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Yes, please.
If you are satisfied with it, is that item 10A and B, they are conjoined items. So you just need one resolution to take them. You can see it's A and B. So it's conjoined.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. The next item is Resolution 9.2, that the board be and is hereby authorized to appoint such professional advisors that they deem necessary upon such terms. No, this is for 9, before we go to 10. Yeah. That the board, no, the first part, 9.1, this is 9.2. That the board be and hereby authorized to appoint such professional advisors that they deem necessary upon such terms and conditions that the directors may deem appropriate with regard to the aforementioned issuance. I now put the motion to the meeting. Can someone second this? Yes, madam.
I so second. My name is Barrister Adetutu Shinyombola. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those in favor, please press 1 on your voting pad, and those against, press 2. Registrar, please announce the result of this voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The result of the poll is as follows: 3,259,696,127 units of shares voted in favor of the resolution. This represents 100%. There is no vote against this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Shareholders, as suggested, we can, resolution 10.1 and 10.2, we can co-join them. All right. Yes, okay. Thank you. Now, resolution 10.1 first, subject to regulatory approvals, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to carry out as he deems appropriate and in accordance with any relevant laws, any actions including but not limited to reorganization, restructuring, reconstruction and business arrangement exercise, and actions for the company as may be necessary to achieve competitive business advantage across the group and or comply with any legislation and or directives and guidelines from the Securities and Exchange Commission. Subject Resolution 10.2 conjoined, subject to regulatory approval, that the directors be and hereby authorized to appoint such advisors and professional parties that they deem necessary upon such terms and conditions that the directors may deem appropriate with regard to the aforementioned business arrangements. I now put the motion to the meeting. Will someone please second this? Okay, this way.
Ms. Pastor Lagoke Samson Olusegun, I second the motion.
Thank you. Those in favor, please press 1 on your voting pad, and those against, press 2 on your voting pad. And because the voting by proxies voted them separately, you announce them separately. Is that okay, Registrar?
Okay, sir.
All right. Since they voted, some people voted separately, so we'll announce it separately. But we'll take the whole total. So, Registrar, please, can you give us the result of this voting?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For Resolution 10.A, the result of the poll is as follows: 3,259,697,777 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution. And for Resolution 10.2, 3,259,697,777 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. So, I hereby declare that the resolutions 10.1 and 10.2 have been duly carried. Thank you, shareholders. We have resolution 11. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps and do all acts that they may deem necessary for the successful implementation of the above slated resolutions. I now put the motion to the meeting. Can someone second this? Yes, please. Thank you. Those in favor, please press 1 on your voting pad, and those against, press 2 on your voting pad. Registrar, please announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to authorize the directors to carry out all necessary acts for the resolutions already approved. The result of the poll is as follows: 3,259,649,634 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 30,032 units of shares, representing 0.00% of the votes cast, voted against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Thank you, all shareholders. Chiefs, Alhajis, ladies and gentlemen, as there's no other business on the agenda, I would like to thank you all on behalf of the board for attending this meeting and showing so much interest in your company's affairs. Thank you very much. I'll call on Pastor Samson. Can you pray for us? Closing prayer. Let's all stand.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you that you intervened to this meeting. The meeting was so successful. Accept our thanks in Jesus' name. As everybody is going to different places, Father, we ask for your protection and mercy, that we should have a journey mercy to our different destinations. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Let's take the national anthem. Thank you, everyone.
Ever wondered how you Are you a doting parent or guardian looking to provide an enduring legacy and uninterrupted welfare for your children or minors? Today's UCAP class demonstrates how the United Capital Heritage Trust Fund can cater to various aspects of your beneficiary's life, from tuition to travel, health, leisure, and welfare. Here are some reasons why it's a great option for your children or beneficiaries. You enjoy life insurance benefits. You can make direct deposits to third parties with a tax-effective structure. What's more, the Heritage Trust is also a good hedge against depreciation. Simply download the Invest Now app, open a Heritage Trust account, and complete your KYC to get started. Ever heard the saying, there's an app for everything? Well, there is one that has everything you need to start your investment journey. An all-in-one premium investing platform for everyone. It's called the Invest Now app. With Invest Now, You can subscribe to mutual funds, set up trusts, and trade stocks. You can also access high-quality financial information, market news, and investment updates to help you make informed financial decisions with ease and from the comfort of your home. To get started, simply download the investnow.ng app on your iOS or Android device. Launch the app and select Let's Invest. Select the investment product you are interested in. Enter your email address and click Next to create an account by entering your personal, next of kin, and financial details. You'll receive a mail to activate your account. So to get to know you a little more, you will have to update your KYC. To do this, select the Options menu. Select Update KYC from the options. Fill in the required information and upload your documents. Next, you fund your account. Select the Options menu, select Fund Account, select your preferred investment account from the drop-down options. Click Next and follow the payment